Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to your family. Happy New Year to your friends. Happy New Year to you. If you are blessed and able to wake up this morning and see January 1st, 2022. 24 hours ago, it was December 31st, 2021. But it is January 1st, 2022. Welcome, you guys. We are so excited to see you on the first day of the new year. I hope this year started well for you guys. I hope that it's starting well for your family, for your friends, and for you. Happy New Year to you. You've made it through another year through COVID-19, through all the situations that you've seen, danger seen and unseen, like my mother would say. You made it through another year. And we're so grateful and so excited for that. I do thank you for joining me. I won't be before you long. One of my new ideas here is coming to you on a time limit. So I got a time limit that I want to be on. So believe me, I won't be before you long. But there is a motivational word to start you out on this new year. But as I was thinking about last night, and as I was watching the Lakers game last night, the Lakers did win. We beat the Trailblazers, but the Trailblazers ain't that good. But that has nothing to do with this motivational word. I thought I just wanted to throw that in there. But as I was watching the Lakers game, I started thinking about all the celebrations that were going on, mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine, depending on what side you sit on, or if you went out or if you didn't go out, whatever you did. I started thinking about why we celebrate each and every year of New Year's. We go to the ABC store. Some of us go to church. Some of us are in church all day. Like I used to be as a little boy with my mama. Some of y'all go to parties, to the club. Pre-COVID, we was out at the bars, kicking it back. And during COVID, some of us have still been kicking it back, having a good time during New Year's. But we reflect and think about the year that we've had with all the situations that have come upon us, from death to fake family members and friends, to work, to not having work, to having money, to not having money, to being given grades and not giving grades if you're in school, and promotions and not promotions. We have seen a lot. If you're political like me, you've seen politicians still lying. You still politicians still crooked, and there are still some trying to do the right thing. This past year, if we really want to reflect, we've all seen or went through something and had shadow days. We've all had shadow days and shadow moments in life. My grandfather would say some days are up and some days are down, almost level to the ground. That's how he would have phrased it. But we have to realize in life, it's only a shadow. It's only a shadow. It is only a shadow. It's only a shadow. So when we look at this, when we're thinking about this idea of this only a shadow, we must first come to realize what shadow means. And shadow simply means this: it is a dark shape that appears on a surface. When someone or something moves between the surface or source of light. Let me say that just one more time so you can catch what shadow means. Shadow simply means this: it is a dark shape that appears on the surface when someone or something moves between the surface or the source of light. It's only a shadow. It's only a shadow. Like I told y'all, one of my New Year things that I was going to try to do, I was going to be on a time frame here, and I wasn't going to be before you long. I want to catch your attention, and I want to catch it quick. So it's only a shadow. It's really two key questions that we're going to unpack, and then I'm out of here. You have a good rest of your first day of 2022. The first question is this: who is in the shadow, and why is the shadow important? Who is in the shadow, and why is the shadow important? So let's look at the first question. Who is in the shadow? Who is in the shadow? Let's look at this. Let's look at this here. Let's look at this. I do apologize. I had to put my phone on the charger. Let's look at this. Who is in the shadow? Who is in the shadow? Now, you have to realize the shadow is only made with a reflection of light. So that means you yourself, you are in the shadow. You yourself are in the shadow. I've never seen somebody cut on a flashlight and they didn't see their shadow. Y'all remember when we were kids and the power would go out and you would get the flashlight and see your mama and daddy would tell you, don't you play with that flashlight, we need it. But you will still play with it, even when it really wasn't, the power wasn't out. And you just wanted to see your reflection. That means that you are in the shadow, yourself, you. That's important. Because what we have to understand is, even while we're in the shadow, life is still happening. See, and that's why I love, the Bible, because David here, he says he walked through the valley of the shadow. He himself, he was by himself, him and God, he walked through the valley of the shadow by himself. So you yourself, you are in the shadow. That has to be significant. And even on your bad days, you have to appreciate the shadow. You have to appreciate the shadow. But see, here's the other piece. And we got to catch this on 2022 before anything happens today. For the rest of your day, the people you let in your shadow. We have to stop letting people in our shadows sometimes. Sometimes there are some people that don't need to reflect off of our life. I know that's, that's not the Christian way of thinking, and for some folks but sometimes you need to stop letting people reflect off of your life. Remember, a shadow is only made when it's light. And some of us are lighting up people and helping their shadows, and they're not helping ours. We got to stop letting everybody into our shadow in space. Because sometimes we have to be like David and understand we are walking through the valley. And sometimes the person that you think is supposed to be there to help you, they ain't there at all. And so you're walking through this valley. I could picture David, and David probably looking for all these people he done helped, all these people he done mentored, and he's walking through this valley, and he gets to the shadow of death, and he's looking at death, and death is looking at him, and he realized, wait a minute, you can only look at me because of the light that I'm reflecting. Sometimes people are doing what they're doing because the light that you reflect. For all my folks that do AD and Sam, let me give you some appreciation today, because all these churches, all these conferences, it can't happen if you don't have lights and microphones and soundboards. And we appreciate you. If it wasn't for mentors and coaches and teachers teaching our children and coaching children to get to the next level, you wouldn't have a professional sport. If it wasn't for doctors and lawyers and things like that, making sure that your health is good, that you ain't getting no charges on your record. Hello, lawyers, appreciate you, lawyers. You have to understand that the light that is reflected off of you sometimes hits other people's shadows. But you can't let everybody into your shadow. You can't let everybody into your space. Because sometimes you are the light. Sometimes you are the light. And here's the other crazy piece too. Sometimes this is what we do, and we need to stop doing this, and we need to stop putting ourselves in the situations. Sometimes the shadow that we're in, we put ourselves in. And then sometimes the shadow that we're in, God is challenging us to build us up. And then there are other times we are in situations because of other people. Understand, if you're in shadows or in situations because of other people, you need to remove yourself. If you're in a shadow of death situation like David was, you got to understand, that means God is trying to reflect something off of you so you can see what he's trying to show. See, this is important. This is why I don't talk church folks sometimes, because church folks get to a certain standard and they forget the shadows that they went through. And I don't even like some people sometimes, because even people, I ain't got to talk about church people, I can talk about people in general. There are people in this world that just forget the shadows of death that they had to go through to be successful. But if you put yourself in situations, or if other people put yourself in those situations, or if you know that God is challenging you to move forward, you got to understand it's only a shadow. It won't be that long. It's a reflection of light coming at the end of the tunnel. So here's your second question. Why? Why are shadows important? Why are shadows important? Why are shadows so significant? The first reason shadows are important, because it is evidence that we all need light. Shadows are evidence that every one of us needs light. Let me ask you a question. If all your power was to go out and it's dark outside and it's late, you're going to look for a flashlight. We all need light. Most of us, if the power was to go out, is not walking to the bathroom or walking to the kitchen in the dark. Now, there are some of us that really would. There are some of us. But if for most of us, if not all of us, we are not, if the power go out, walking through the house in the pitch black dark, that means we need light to give us shadows, to give us reflection. That means it is evidence that we need light. It is evidence that we need light. And here's the other second piece to that. Shadows reveal that we are the light. You missed that. Shadows reveal that we are the light. We are the light. Without us, without your breath of life, understand you are important. I want you to go into 2022. I want you to appreciate yourself. Understand that every shot that you yourself as a human being, you are important. You are significant. You are worthy of the position that you want. You can challenge yourself to be great. Shadows reveal that we are light. You just go outside and stand in the sun. If you stand in the sun, you're probably going to see a reflection of you. Life situations sometimes, yes, they're going to come. Yes, they're going to be hard sometimes. Yes, they're going to be death. Yes, it's going to be fake friends. Yes, you're going to lose jobs. Yes, you're not going to have money in your bank account. Yes, you're not going to get the grades you're supposed to get. But understand, each situation is only a shadow, and every shadow has to have a reflection of light. That's your something to think about. Every shadow has to have a reflection of life. I don't care what situation you're in, family, job, school, relationships, whatever. Every shadow only has a reflection of light. So happy New Year to you. Good to see you. I'll see you next week. I'll be starting my podcast here later this week. We're going to be talking about sports this week. I'm going to be talking about my Lakers. So join me on my podcast, Beneath the Surface. Yes, we're going to do a little bit different this year. So please make sure you follow me on all my platforms. My Instagram is @CharlesWhite61291. Charles White 61291. Get at me at my Twitter, Charles White 248. Get at me on Facebook, Charles White. Follow me on and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is going to be posted. I do appreciate you and understand that every situation that you come into, every person that is in your life, you are the reflection of life that somebody either needs or you're going through some situations. And understand your situation is a shadow of the light that's coming. It's only a shadow. Thank you for your eyes. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your ears.